So we are here today with Marlon from AmTrust. So Marlon, tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and your area within AmTrust.
Sure. My name is Marlon Robertson. I'm the Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition here at AmTrust in the Human Resources Department.
Great. So as part of the recruiting area, what do y'all do to help out HR and help out the organization?
So in talent acquisition here at AmTrust, our job is relatively simple, right? We exist to find the very best insurance talent for the company while working with managers in an advisory and partner capacity to help them navigate the market, which is really can sometimes be tricky in insurance, and to do so in a way that ensures the best outcomes, not just for the talent that they're bringing in, but to also ensure equity and fairness amongst their team as well.
Awesome. So if somebody wanted to be in your job, what does your day look like? What's a day in the life of Marlon?
Sure. So the day in the life of a TA professional or an HR professional in general really is our day begins and ends solving problems. From the second that you start your day, there's always, it's not just about, I think one of the big misconceptions with HR is that it's just processing, it's just administrative. I just think that that's not true at all. I think that one of the keys with HR is that it's working with the business every day to solve problems that you may not even think are problems in the first place. So from the moment that our recruiters start our day, we're solving problems such as, somebody needs start dates changed, or somebody has benefits related questions that they need to have addressed, or there's location changes in terms of where the requisition is going to be. So we may have a manager who says, okay, I'm running into a little bit of a problem. What does the market look like in Salt Lake City? Because the market in Chicago, we're having trouble finding some claims adjusters. And it's about working with them to say, hey, okay, well, let's do a market analysis of Salt Lake City. Let's take a look at where claims adjusters might, exist, how we can get you that talent, what kind of talent we're going to be able to get you, and what that timeline might look like. We may also be able to present alternative solutions. So we may say, okay, Salt Lake City may be a good option, but one of the things that we've really seen lately is a lot of talent in the Dallas area. So maybe think about maybe hiring over there. We help our managers answer all sorts of tricky business questions all the time, like office locations, hybrid work models, salary questions, ways that they can organize their teams best, or what their interview processes look like. So every day from minute one is about expanding our solution suite, helping managers understand the best route forward and working together to achieve those outcomes.
Awesome. So it sounds more like a strategic partnership rather than just going out and finding candidates and hiring them. So good to know. So what are some of your daily processes when you are working through those things? Are there systems that you're working in, or how are you getting these things done?
Sure. So we use a whole range of systems. Every HR department in the industry, but is going to use some sort of what we call human resources information system. So here at AmTrust, we use a system called Workday. That is a major housing of all of our HR information. Our recruiters and HR professionals are working there all the time. From a recruiting perspective, we use specific what's called an applicant tracking system, which is ISOMS. That houses all of our candidate information, resumes, offer letters, important forms, and we are able to design our process. And each recruiter has their own process that they work within that system to allow them to work as efficiently and effectively as possible while staying organized. Beyond that, another misconception that we often get with recruiting is that a lot of applicants just apply, you talk to them, you move them forward. That does happen. But really, especially in this market, and especially in the insurance market, which is so competitive, that oftentimes means that we have to have direct outreach to candidates that may be interested and may be passively open to a new opportunity. So we have tools to do that, like LinkedIn. We use Indeed. We use something called ZoomInfo. We have texting applications to directly outreach to folks. We have a whole bevy of ways that we engage the talent pool every single day. So our recruiters throughout their day in general is going to have some sort of interaction with all of those platforms that I listed. We really do quite a bit of jumping around, but that's what you have to do when you're trying to find the best folks.
Great. So if somebody wanted to get into recruiting or even just into HR, what sort of skills do you think are needed? How does somebody prepare for that role?
Sure. So, two major keys to being a successful HR professional. The first is organization, and the second is problem solving or critical thinking skills. Organization is so important in human resources. Regardless of the job, you're going to be dealing with a whole bunch of data in a very fast moving environment. Again, I think that one of the human resources kind of misconceptions is that they're slow and lumbering. At least in the insurance industry, that is not true. We move very quickly every day. It's so important to be flexible, and being flexible comes the need to be organized. Things move fast, things change quickly. You have a lot to do in a single day, and the key is really to be able to have a system to stay organized and stay on top of your work. Beyond that, though, the problem solving and critical thinking skills are so important for a successful HR professional because there's the answer to problems isn't usually right in front of you. The obvious answer may not be the best outcome. It may not be the most effective or efficient outcome either. So as an HR professional, if you're somebody who wants to be successful in HR, you have to be somebody who can look at a problem outside the box and say, maybe this, maybe not this, but maybe this. Have you considered X, Y, and Z? Maybe we don't put a candidate here, but we put a candidate here. Or maybe instead of making this candidate this high level, maybe we change it to a lower level and find somebody and broaden our market base, right? So it's always about applying those critical thinking skills and being able to help partner with the business and saying, let's consider all of our options instead of just one or two really narrow ones.
I love that because that keeps going back to that strategic partnership. So we all know that there are good and bad things to every role and every job and every department. So what is your rose and what is your thorn?
The thing about being in human resources is people come to you to help them solve their problems. And it's up to you to find a way to work with them to get the best outcomes as efficiently as possible. Sometimes people come to you relatively frustrated, right? Frustrated at processes, frustrated at where where things may end up or what their current situation is. And it's about showing that empathy. But the reality too, especially from a recruiting perspective, is sometimes the outcome isn't ideal. Sometimes you don't get that job. Sometimes we have to you turn down an offer. Sometimes we can't get you exactly what you're asking for. And part of that, the job is being able to navigate with people through that. And although we do it because we're empathetic people, that doesn't mean that it's something that we enjoy doing all the time. But on the flip side, along the same coin, the definite roads is that it's the people business. And one of my favorite parts of being in human resources is being able to solve somebody's problem and watch the joy and or relief or just satisfaction that people get from having their problem solved, whatever that may look like, whether it's internal growth in a company, whether it's getting more money. From a recruiting perspective, there's no better feeling than being the first person to give somebody that call and change their life. I always say, people they make a few really big decisions in life. Maybe whether or not to buy a house or where to live, where to go to college, things like that. But one of the other major decisions that they make is, where am I going to work for the next 5 years or more, right? Where is this next path on my journey going to take me? And one of the biggest pleasures in being in recruiting is being able to be the very first person to pick up that phone and say, congratulations, your life has changed. You're going to get more money, new opportunity. You're going to love it here. And to listen to that relief wash over them, that joy wash over them, you can't trade that feeling for anything in the world.
Yeah, I remember my call when I got called to be at AmTrust, and it was just, I was in the car, I was so excited, and I remember who called me. So yeah, I definitely get that feeling. Even on the other side, it's a great feeling. All right, so I know we talked about a couple misconceptions for your role, but are there any other ones that you can think about?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest misconceptions in HR is that we just say no. right? That human resources is just there to stymie progress, to stymie the business, to stymie, employee growth or employee satisfaction, and just that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Each and every day, being a human resources professional means working really hard to make things work for the business, make things work for our employees. There's nothing that brings us more joy than to see a happy, healthy company that where people like to work here and are happy in their job and feel well compensated and feel like they're listened to. So the biggest misconception, I think, is that HR doesn't listen and they say no. We are here to listen. We're here to help. And if you decide to become an HR professional, you get to do that and be a part of that every day. And I think that that's something that often gets missed.
Awesome. Well, Marlon, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into HR, into recruiting. So appreciate your time today.
Thank you.